Hello, today we're going to learn about comparing and ordering decimals. In the first problem we have here, we have 8 and 89 hundredths, and we also have 8 and 48 hundredths. Your goal is to compare these two numbers using the greater than, the less than, or the equal to symbol. Now first, we're going to look at both these numbers and look at the digit in my ones place. We have an 8 in this number, and we also have an 8 in this number. Therefore, since they're exactly the same, we're going to move to the right, and we're going to move to the next digit. So now we're going to look at the digit in my tenths place, and I see that the value here is 8 tenths, and I see that the value in this number is 4 tenths. And since they are different, we can easily identify which one is larger. So in this number here, 8 tenths is much larger than 4 tenths. Therefore, this entire number, 8 and 89 hundredths, is greater than 8 and 48 hundredths. And notice I use that greater than symbol to compare these two numbers. And as a reminder, the greater than symbol does eat the larger number. Yes, I know you use that in third and fourth grade, but if you need to use that to help you when comparing these numbers, you are welcome to use that as well in fifth. Now looking at my next number, we have 1 and 296 thousandths, and we also have 1 and 232 thousandths. Now the first thing we're always going to do is work our way from left to right. So I look at my ones place, in both these numbers I see that it's a 1. So I move to my tenths place. I look here, it's a 2 and another 2. So now I'm going to move to my hundredths place, and I see here that this is a 9 and this is a 3, representing that the value here of 9 hundredths is much larger than the value here, which is 3 hundredths. Therefore, 1 and 296 thousandths is greater than 1 and 232 thousandths. For this next one, we have 4 and 8 tenths, and we also have 5 and 8 tenths. So just like the previous two problems, you're going to work your way from left to right. And I'm looking at my ones place, and I see that in this problem, in this number, there's a 4, and this number, there's a 5, which right away we can easily identify that 5 and 8 tenths is much larger than 4 and 8 tenths. So in this problem here, you can write this expression as 4 and 8 tenths is less than 5 and 8 tenths. Now notice I gave you a problem with tenths, with hundredths, with thousandths. It's still the same procedure and still the same steps no matter how large or small your number is, whether you have decimals or you don't have a decimal. This is the same procedure that even when you had whole numbers at the beginning of the year, you're still doing the same steps. Now for this next one, order the numbers from least to greatest. Now I'm looking at these four numbers I have. I have all these numbers that all have 33 as my whole number. So the first thing I'm going to do is first recognize that and know that now I need to look to the right of my decimal point. I need to look at my tenths place. Now in this number I have 9 tenths, 7 tenths, 1 tenth, and 7 tenths. So right away I'm going to be able to identify that 33 and 11 hundredths is the smallest number, because notice in my tenths place the value is 1 tenth, making this the smallest number. So I'm going to write C here because that is the smallest number. Now I'm going to go to the next smallest. So again, I see we have 7, 7, and we have 9. But 9 is definitely got to be the biggest. But now I need to determine is B or D, which one would come next. So I'm going to now look in my hundredths place. And I see that I have a 0 and I have a 3. So right away, wow, 0 hundredths is definitely less than 3 hundredths. So B would be next, and then D. And now I'm going right back to A, because I remember from before that 9 tenths right away, that's got to be my largest number. So that's going to be my last number here. Now notice I'm organizing these from least to greatest. It is very important when you're doing these problems that you are reading the directions. Sometimes it will be least to greatest, sometimes it will be greatest to least. Regardless, it is still the same steps. Work your way from left to right to help you identify and order and compare these numbers.